About a month ago, I taught a class online called How to Find a Career That You Love. And so some of these classes that I teach for an organization, I don't pick the titles. I don't make the titles up. It was definitely a class I was suited to teach, but it wouldn't have been the title of my choice. But at any rate, I could tell about an hour in to this online course, I think it was 2 hours or class, that there were some people, not all, there was about 11 people on, that maybe half were a little befuddled by where I was going and the things I was teaching and sharing. Because essentially, what I've come to learn over the course of not just the last few months, but I'm talking the last 25 years, and what I teach is that by doing, combined with a lot of curiosity and a lot of open-mindedness and a lot of introspection on, what we're good at, how we provide value, what is it that makes us special around people, what are the things that we don't enjoy. That's how we discover and get clarity on what it is we truly want to do. I don't even really love to use the word love. It's not about loving. It's good when you really enjoy what we do. I totally enjoy what I do. But it's more about getting connected to something, a space, a role, a mission, a purpose where you're making a difference for people. And as we know, that can come in many different, shapes, forms, sizes, and it can come in quite a few different roles too. At any rate, I was looking at the people in the class, and this was all online, and some of them being perplexed or it's not connecting with them, and that's okay. And I don't take it as a slight against me. I never take any of that personally. It's not about that. Does the message resonate? And I'm sharing this in this story today because I saw a post by Dan Schawbel. Job experimentation. I'm putting this up in my stories too. Job experimentation is what what leads to clarity in your career. And in a way, he's so right. By doing the different things and being open to experimenting. See, when we're taught since we're young in this country and in school and a lot of the formal processes and things that we go through, where experimentation is really not encouraged a lot, unless you're in science class. I mean, you're not taught to go out and job experiment. You're taught to get a certain education, get a certain degree, in some cases get a certain graduate degree, and get this type of job. I'm being a little facetious and dramatic, but you get my point. It's by and large so true on many levels. So the idea, the mindset of I'm going to experiment, I'm going to give myself time and space to see what I'm good at, what I enjoy, and where I make a difference for people. That's not encouraged a lot. That people aren't feeling empowered. So I'm so glad I saw that post today from Dan, and check it out in my stories. And always follow Dan Schawbel. He's awesome. But he writes a lot about, career and path and communication in the workplace. He's really good, really established. He's got a couple books out too. At any rate, to whatever degree, wherever you are in your career, empower yourself to be open-minded to the experimentation. It's not a bad thing. Look, we all need to make money. I know as well as anybody, as somebody who's changed his career a couple times, who left a safe, well-paying corporate job to become a coach. Trust me, I know what risk is involved and what it can feel like at times, including financial stress and strain. However, there are ways in which we're certainly always growing and getting better, but there's ways in which to take those experiences and those learnings, whether you stay in the lane or path that you're in or go into something else that's going to benefit you tremendously. Much more so, it'll benefit you much more than if you stayed with something that you weren't always sure this was what I was meant to do. Better to get out and try and have been open-minded and tried a few different things than to stay in something that it pays the bills and it's good, but is this really what I wanted to do? Because 11 people were in that class of mine, right? Think about it. Now, some of them, I'd say 2/3 of them were and by the younger side, I mean, late 20s to early to mid 30s. Not crazy. None of them were just first time, when they weren't right out of college. But they were on the younger side. They have plenty of time ahead. They have long careers ahead of them. But they were on that class for a reason. Think about that. They were taking that class for a reason. They're 4 or 5, 6, in some cases, I'm choking here, 10 years into their career. And they're asking themselves, how do I find something that I love? What does that tell you? Not for everybody, by the way. Some people, they find their sweet spot, they're good. But a lot of people don't. So don't be afraid to experiment, please. And what's important is, are you learning as you do that? Are you connecting to what you're learning, and then you take it with you into the next step? All right? Okay, I'm done.